What's up, everybody? We got some comic book news. I know some of you guys have been wanting me to get back to talking about comic book, but unfortunately, this isn't like actual material in the comic books that we're going to be discussing today. Let me spend sort of the first minute thanking all you guys for tuning in to the last live streams for the past week. We've been killing it. Numbers have been insane. You guys have been showing up, showing out. We've had some great debates. Great discussions, live discussions on. We actually will be having another debate later today. I believe at 5:30, depending on if you're watching this, when you're watching this, 5:30-ish Central Time. That will be the case. Of course, it will be, if you miss it, all of my Supermax and above get access to every single live stream that I've ever done. That's how you get access to those. So if you miss it, then of course become a Supermac and you'll be able to check it out that way. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys have been absolutely incredible. We've been playing a lot of Ghost of Tsushima, which is a crazy good game. Been having a lot of fun. It's been really, really challenging. But it's one of those things, man, where it's challenging to it's a fun challenging. Right, that's what it's all about. So we'll talk more about that. I'll give you my full review once I finish the game out. We'll be streaming that as well going through the weekend. Okay, we got to talk about Tom King. Tom King is rightfully polarizing. Tom King, who recently, not the current run of Batman, it is the current run of Batman. He's just at issue, I can't remember, 70-something or what have you. He was switched off of it. And now he is about to he's writing Warshash issue number 1. And he came out and said a very ridiculous thing, and he deserves his criticism that he's going to get because he's trying to appease a bunch of losers, of course. And I just want to point out how absolutely hypocritical it is of these weirdos to do exactly this. Okay, so Tom King, who is, by all accounts, a white man, as far as I understand. Nothing wrong with that, of course, not at all. But I'll bring that point back in a bit. He posts this as a lot of comics pros, let's say, be it artists, be it writers, mainstream comic book guys that have participated, they hate Comicsgate. I'm not, obviously I've been on, Ethan Van Sciver's stream. Got a lot of respect for those guys. Those are my guys. They've shown me a lot of support and the things that I've done. Never shown any hate towards me or anything like that. Been always welcome me with open arms. And a lot of guys that consider themselves like rooted in Comicsgate, they've always shown me love. You know what I'm saying? I say that because it doesn't really matter in the same respects how you feel about Comicsgate, the group. You can say, I don't like the way they do this. I don't like this person. That's fine. That's your business. That ain't got nothing to do with what this is being set up to more so be or what picture they're trying to paint. Tom King says right here, today, DC put out an alternative cover to Warshash by Jae Lee. Again, I'm going to bring this point home. Who has also done covers for Comicsgate, a hate group. DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them to express my deep disappointment. As far as I'm concerned, this is the cover. So, basically, an alternate cover, variant, I'm assuming, of the issue was done by Jae Lee. From what I know, is an incredible artist. He has done some work, I believe, on Cyberfrog, Rick Planet, 2, that he's done a cover for Ethan Van Sciver, and I guess that's what they're tying him to. He's a Korean man, right? So this supposed hate group, I guess they can, black folks like myself, who they show a lot of love to, giving work to guys like Jae Lee, that apparently is a problem. Okay, so we got black man, Korean man that they show love to. One's actually working. I haven't obviously done any work per se, in writing or anything in that context. But again, they show me love. We talk all the time. So apparently, I guess the hate doesn't extend to us. So I don't know who the hate group is, but that's how it works, right? You label the people that you don't like or you want to think of as unfavorable as the most disgusting things that you possibly can, right? Doesn't matter if it embodies everything that they believe in or anything. And that's my thing. If you disagree with someone, that's fine. You don't have to agree with people. You don't even have to like them. But at minimum, I feel like you owe it to that person to be honest about what you're criticizing. To say that it's a hate group, come on, man. It's the same thing they say to me about me. I'm part of some hate group because dare I criticize the piece of garbage that a lot of mainstream comics these days are putting out. Tom King, who I actually defended for a while because I think that Batman was a decent run up until, up until the wedding. I loved the war jokes with riddles. I loved all of that. But up until the wedding, things got kind of weird, right? And after the wedding, it was off a cliff by the end. People don't like Tom King's work, but especially like in Heroes in Crisis. Of course, they despise how he's handled Wally. Or how he did. But of course, the Batman, this has been a polarizing run of Batman, and Tom King has been the center of it, and he's been criticized for it. And I feel like deservingly so, right? But to act like it's just, this is how they pay the ass, right? You have an issue with tokenism. You have an issue with these guys trying to beat you over the head with their social and political views. Then all of a sudden, you're part of a hate group. It's complete nonsense. But these are the tactics that these guys are using. He's going to underhand, basically, Jae Lee, who this is his livelihood, right, that you're messing with. You're going to try to paint him as doing things for a hate group. A Korean man, by the way, white man doing this for a Korean man. And this is what's hilarious to me. Want to talk about hate groups? Let's get to the real quick, Tom King. And this is on some political shit. Let's get on to the real. Didn't you work with the CIA? Now, let me get this straight. You worked with the CIA, a known crooked organization, has historically done some of the most. I mean, you can look on this, some of the things we talked about on the channel, just libertarians in general. And looking at the crazy things that these guys have participated in, the CIA, and you somehow got the gonads to try to pin another group, a bad group, on someone else, or a group that you feel is bad on someone else. Come on, dog. Can't nobody that work for the damn CIA get to say that. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, trying to semi-counsel, because this is what I feel like is going to happen. DC will end up caving. They're either going to pull the cover, and they're not going to offer Jae Lee work anymore, because he dared to do covers for Comicsgate artists or writers. This is why I have, with guys like Tom King, I have very little respect for what it is that they try to do. They try to paint everybody as outside of their little scope of sack riding, which essentially we don't do. Individuals that don't, they label you as a hate group. You're part of a hate group. You hate women. You hate this type of person, that type of person. And God forbid they actually address what it is that you're saying. You can just paint the enemy as the worst person in the world. Let's just label them something that people would generally say is an unfavorable thing. You're part of a hate group. You're a Korean man that's a part of a hate group. Korean American man that's part of a hate group. Like, it's nonsense, right? Doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make any damn sense. But that's how these guys operate. And this cancel thing is a very real thing, right? They don't want people that are within their ranks that have access to writing some of these characters, of course, that they didn't create, nonetheless, for these major companies. They don't want you to do it. They don't want you to be a part of their projects because you have social views, or you will kick it with people that have social views that are different to you, or political views that are different to you. And again, it doesn't matter how you feel about some of the individuals within it. But that's what he is trying to paint. That's what he did. Guy did comics, like covers for these guys. particularly probably EVS. He didn't mention that, but he basically said he's done covers for Comicsgate. And because they're Comicsgate, they are a hate group. So Jae Lee's doing stuff for hate groups. I don't like that he's doing stuff for my video, my covers for the things that I'm writing. And I expressed my disappointment. And of course, the guys are going to rally behind Tom King and people that are within the comic book industry because they feel the same way, of course, and they don't like the fact that there are individuals that are within their ranks, within their community that disagree with them and will converse or be cordial with other folks. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is not cool. And again, I never liked the idea of just labeling people as things that they're not. Like, you can say you disagree with them on a particular subject matter, but to just flat out call someone or just say that they're tied to a hate group is a very egregious claim. That I feel like if I was Jae Lee, I'd make Tom King have to answer for that shit. Like, I'd have to pull up on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something, like I say, it's kind of like what I've been having the debates with a lot of these guys. Like, we're talking about egregious claims, man. Like, these are, and then you're threatening people's careers in the process. Like, those, that cannot go unaddressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to talk about that. We got to discuss that. That's a problem. I wonder if Tom King ever reached out to Jae Lee himself and said, hey, you know, why? What's going on? You know, what did you feel like? Were you at with the Comicsgate thing? I'm willing to bet he didn't ask him. But nah, he had to signal on the internet, of course, to his other guys, his other colleagues, because other colleagues like, oh, you got to cancel that. You got to go out. You can't be attached to that. It's clown stuff, bros. Straight up, man. So, Tom King, dude, you have to understand, and you and among other comics pros need to understand that making egregious claims about people like that stuff ain't cool, bro. And you can get away with it generally because the people within your industry agree with you on social, political views, so that can happen. But again, you're making damaging claims, and you think it's okay, and it's just simply not, bros. It ain't.